At the start of every NBA season, there's always a lot of players or teams that come out looking better than ever and make it look like they drastically improved. But most of them just go back to being their old selves after a few games. But that isn't the case for everyone, because there always are a few players that stay that good and show that over the offseason they worked and trained harder than everyone else. And today we're looking at 7 of them. 7 players who, as of right now, look like they're the most improved players in the NBA this season. Now again, there's always a chance that any of these guys go back to playing like they used to, but as of right now they all make the list. And before we do look at the most improved players for the season, let's take a quick look at a company that's already been great, and that's Global Test Market. And if you like easy money, then you've probably already heard of them before, because all you have to do is take surveys on categories that you choose to help brands gather research, and in return they'll give you cash or even gift cards. I've checked it out myself, it doesn't get much easier. Make sure to use the first link in the description and try it for yourself. Shout out to Global Test Market for the sponsor, and let's get to the video. With a couple of quick honorable mentions. The first one goes to DeAndre Jordan's free throw percentage. I don't know who that man trained with or how many free throws he shot over the summer, but he's gone from shooting 45% for the past 10 seasons to now all of a sudden shooting 83% this year. And then the real honorable mentions go to guys like Buddy Hield, who's shooting better percentages and went from averaging 13 a game last season to 20 a game right now. There's Josh Richardson, who's become Miami's leading scorer and has also gone from averaging 13 a game last season to 20 a game so far this year. And the last one goes to Tim Hardaway Jr., who's putting up a career high 24 points a game right now. But he's still only an honorable mention because we can't tell how much he's truly improved, because with Porzingis still out, he's really the only offensive option on the Knicks, aside from maybe Enes Kanter, so he was already expected to score more. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the real list with Number 7, Nikola Mirotic. For a while now, I've been saying that Anthony Davis needs to leave the Pelicans when his contract's up in a couple of years. But if they can keep finding more players like Mirotic to team him up with, then maybe he should stay. Because Mirotic and Davis are perfect complements for each other. And that's a huge part of what's led him to be able to have a breakout season so far. Surprisingly, he's been a bench player for most of his career up until this season, where he landed the starting spot over Julius Randle. But as for his 4-year career before this season, Mirotic has averaged 12 points and 6 rebounds a game. With last season being his best year, where he put up 15 and 7 when he played the first half of the year on the Bulls and the second on the Pelicans. But since being a starter this season and shaving his beard, he's come out and looked like a star, putting up 22 points a game on 50% from the floor and 35% from 3. Now if he can keep up this pace for the entire season, which I think he will, he'll definitely establish himself as one of the top power forwards in the league. Number 6, De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron didn't have a great first year in the NBA, especially for what everyone expected of him. But he has come out and made this year that much better. He only put up 11, 4, and 2 in his rookie season and didn't contribute much to the little amount of wins that the Kings actually had. But in this young NBA season so far, he's been averaging 18, 6, and 4 and has increased his field goal and 3-point percentages by a good amount. And it's not just about stats here, because the man's come out and stepped up as the leader that the Kings have needed so far this season, and he's actually helped put the Kings on pace for the playoffs this year. Now I'm not betting on the fact that it stays that way, but it makes De'Aaron sound better for the video. But seriously, Fox recently became the youngest player in NBA history to put up a 30-point triple-double at only 20 years old. And stats like that don't happen on accident. I think it's safe to say that Fox is going to continue this pace this season and keep getting better every year. Number 5, JaVale McGee. Up until this season, we all knew JaVale McGee as a 2-time Shaqtin' a Fool MVP and a decent actual bench center in the league that won 2 NBA championships with the Warriors these past 2 seasons. But McGee has actually come out so good this season with the Lakers that LeBron said he has a chance to win the Defensive Player of the Year award this year. With a big part of that being because he's leading the league in blocked shots over guys like Anthony Davis and Rudy Gobert, with him averaging almost 3.5 a game. JaVale's been able to hold down the paint for LA and not let them be any worse than they already are. So at least so far, he's without a doubt having the best season of his career, but not only on the defensive side, because McGee's averaging a career high 14 points a game to go along with almost 8 rebounds a game, and has even hit a couple threes so far this year. And this is one of the real first times in his career that JaVale McGee has been the certified starter for an NBA team and is showing what he's really worth. It's a good thing too, because even though I don't think there's a chance that he keeps that starting center spot next year, with LA having money to spend and free agent centers out there like DeMarcus Cousins, Marc Gasol, DeAndre Jordan, Al Horford, and a few other guys, it looks like he's definitely at least secured a spot as their center to come off the bench next year, which would be a great role for him. Number 4, Joel Embiid. Compared to last season, Embiid's taken his game to another whole level. He's finally gotten healthy and to a point where he can play every single night. For the past 2 seasons, he's looked like a guy who's had huge potential to be great, but this year he's finally showing that those predictions were true. Last year he averaged 22, 11, and 2 blocks a game, but so far this season, Joel's been averaging 28, 12, and 2. He's putting up career highs in nearly every category and dominating the court on both ends. And he's made it clear that he's going to be Philly's best player going forward. And the man doesn't lack in any aspect of his game or his trash talk. He can block shots, shoot threes, play from mid-range, and dominate in the post, which makes him one of the most complete centers in not only the NBA today, but in league history. Now, if Joel Embiid keeps up this pace and even gets slightly better every year from here on out, he's without a doubt going down as an all-time great NBA center. Number 3, Caris LeVert. Not too many people knew who Caris LeVert was before this season, and I still don't think too many people do, but they will soon. He came out as the 20th pick in the 2016 NBA draft, and in his first 2 seasons on the Nets, only averaged about 11 points a game coming off the bench. But on this young Nets team without a real established star player yet, LeVert's been the guy to step up so far this season, putting up 24 and 4, averaging career highs in basically every category. Not gonna lie, I haven't watched too many Nets games in the past 2 seasons, but after seeing LeVert play so far this season, it doesn't look like he's ready to slow down anytime soon. I don't know if I would say the guy's gonna be a future star in the league just yet, because like I said, with all these guys breaking out, some of them are gonna go back to their old habits, some play at this pace for the next few years, and some just keep getting better until they do hit that superstar level. And if that's what Caris LeVert does, then the Nets have finally found their franchise guy. Number 2, Blake Griffin. Not too long ago in a video, I said that Blake Griffin was one of the most overpaid players in the league, but it might be just about time to take that back. He had a rough last few years on the Clippers, and didn't have the best start on his new Pistons team last season, which led a lot of people, including myself, thinking that Blake had peaked early on in his career and was never going to be as good as the 2014 Lob City Blake Griffin. But so far this season, he's come out and proved everyone wrong. It is still early on, so he could go back to his old habits, but as of right now, the man's averaging 28, 11, and 5, and shooting 6 threes a game, making a career best 42% of them. I don't know what Blake Griffin did over the offseason, but he's come back and put his career back on the right track. I'm thinking that getting out of LA, away from all the celebrities and commercials, and getting away from his ex-girlfriend and Kendall Jenner, have to have a lot to do with it. Because now that the man's in Detroit, his main focus isn't on everything surrounding the fame and the money. It's all just been on basketball, and it's been showing. Detroit still has a losing record as of right now, but Blake playing as good as he is the first step that the Pistons need to get back on the right track. Number 1, Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's either on one of the biggest hot streaks of his life, or is having one of the biggest breakout seasons we've seen in the NBA. Now, I've been saying for a couple of years that I thought LaVine had a huge potential in the league, but I didn't even see him becoming this good this fast, especially after he had that ACL tear in 2017. A lot of people were worried that was going to cause him to lose a lot of his athleticism, and he wasn't going to be the same player. And he hasn't been the same player, because he's gone from averaging 18 points a game the season before the injury took place to now 28 a game so far this season. He was the 3rd option on the Timberwolves a couple years back, and then he was just another one of the young players on the Bulls team. But after Lauri Markkanen, Bobby Portis, and Chris Dunn have all been out with injuries, LaVine's been able to step up as the guy of the Chicago Bulls. I don't know that LaVine can keep up this pace all season long, especially when those 3 guys return, but I'm hoping he does. He's got the athleticism and the skill set to be a star in this league, and if he does keep up this pace, then he is definitely going to be a star and an all-star player by the end of the season. And the more confident and consistent he gets, the better his chances are going to be. The Bulls were expected to still have a losing record because of all those injuries. But at this rate, there's no doubt that Zach LaVine's the frontrunner for the Most Improved Player award and is on his way to the All-Star game later this year. And that wraps up this list for the 7 most improved players so far in the 2018-19 season. If there's anyone you think I might have missed, or anyone you think shouldn't be on this list, definitely comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next video.